Good afternoon. I bet the majority of you watching this can't even tell that I have a tummy ache right now, but I'm being very brave about it. I'm gonna push through, and I want this to serve as a lesson to all of you that you can't tell what someone is going through just by taking a glance at them. Don't judge a book by its cover. There's two topics that I'd like to discuss today, so let's dive right into the first one, which has become a very big discussion across the internet, which is in regards to piracy. I like to think I've been very vocal about my stance on piracy. I don't think there's any questions on where my loyalties lie when it comes to this subject, but I'll repeat them again, screaming from the mountaintop. I, with my hand on a stack of Bibles, subscribe to the belief that Gabe In preached. Piracy is a service problem. Not only that, but the quest to defeat the boogeyman known as piracy also leads more people to it. So introducing harsh DRM that tanks performance or makes a game function worse will inevitably lead more people to go to the pirated version because it is a better version of it, because it runs better without the DRM that you've introduced to try and fight it. So you're creating more of a piracy problem by trying to solve it. I also just truly believe that if you just focus on making a good product or service, you should never put even an iota of thought into how to beat piracy. Yes, people are going to pirate it. They're going to find ways of circumventing shit no matter what it is. But there will be far more people that legitimately purchase it to support that good product or service and that effort that you made to not ruin it with DRM or fighting against piracy and making things an inconvenient headache. To put your titties where my mouth is, I am well aware that our comic book series Godslap has tons of re-uploads of our entire comic series accessible for free right now. And you know what we're doing to stop it? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. In fact, we've made it easier by offering a digital version of our comics. For those that don't know, I have a comic book series called Godslap and another one called Plague Seeker. We offer a digital version of it. That makes it extremely easy to just take that digital version and re-upload it for free across the internet. And zoinks, Scoob, would you believe it, it actually was extremely helpful in growing the comic series. There are so many people out there that wanted to check it out but didn't want to pay $5 for a digital version, didn't want to buy a physical copy. They just wanted to see if it was any good, because who knows, it might have sucked shit through a crazy straw. It might not have been worth the money, so they wanted to check it out and it was uploaded for free. So there were a lot of people that read it for free and then eventually bought a physical copy once they got invested into the world. I have so many emails like that from people, and that's great. I'm happy that people are checking it out. Even the ones that check it out and don't like it, hey, at least you gave it a try, right? There is really nothing that we lost by having the comic series uploaded for free out everywhere. It's only been helpful. Now that's not going to be the case for everything, and I totally recognize that. But I really believe all of these efforts made by shutting down emulators, which is what we're about to talk about in detail when it comes to Nintendo, and all of these other DRM efforts and all kinds of anti-piracy measures do nothing but make more people want to pirate it, because you're now ruining the official means of getting these products and making it far more easy, convenient, and complete actually owning the product through piracy. So you're making it a more appealing option for them. So you're creating more problems than you're solving in the first place. I don't want to just regurgitate the same things I said in my last video about this topic. I'm not trying to just Ouroboros my own ass and eat the shit out of it with the same talking points over and over. Basically, last time I was touching on this subject, it was about streaming services being such a massive, expensive headache nowadays where you don't actually own anything anymore and they're constantly censoring episodes or taking things off their platforms. You have to go on this giant fucking scavenger hunt like you're hunting down the Dragon Balls in order to find, like, the shows or the movies you want. So when you pirate them, it's much easier, it's much quicker, it's a lot less expensive, obviously, and it's just a more convenient service these days, which is why piracy's been blowing up again. Not that I'm advocating for it, of course, you can't come after me for that, Viacom. What I want to focus on with this one isn't so much that, but more so the debate that's breaking out now about emulators, because the global anti-fun police known as Nintendo, the international authority of kicking sand in the face of anyone that's enjoying their products, has decided to launch an attack on a very popular emulator that I'm pretty confident a lot of you are familiar with, called Yuzu. And Nintendo threw the kitchen sink at them. They laid the Super Mario Smackdown upon them, Hulkmania went wild, and it was a little concerning for the future of other emulators. RIP to Yuzu, I'm not going to bother going through the particulars of the case, I'll just give you the bare bones gist of it. Nintendo hit them for giving people the tools and information regarding piracy, giving people the ability to pirate Nintendo property, and basically it all just tied into Yuzu and piracy going hand in hand like peanut butter and jelly. Now, let's not get caught in the delusional genjutsu here. Let's just be honest with ourselves. Everyone knows this when it comes to emulators. Anyone that uses an emulator knows that you can get games for free that you don't actually own officially. Not everyone's going to be the person that's dumping the BIOS and all the information out there from their legitimately purchased copy or anything. You can eventually just download it yourself for free and play it through these emulators. But I don't think that means you need to shut everything down in regards to emulators, because they are an invaluable tool when it comes to the preservation of games that otherwise would be lost to time. I am a huge proponent of emulators, and I have been since early high school. In fact, a lot of my early videos are all made through emulators. Mudahar recently made a video covering this topic, and I agree with his take in that when you own something, a piece of hardware, you'll be able to do whatever the fuck you want with it. Like, as long as it's not affecting other people, and like making other people's experience of it negative, it shouldn't matter. So if you legally purchase Tears of the Kingdom for your Switch, but you actually want it to go on your Steam Deck because it's a better console, then you should be able to just, you know, go through the process of getting it to the Steam Deck, the emulators, and all the other things that I'm not going to go into detail about because I don't know how Nintendo's going to be responding to all of these things. But there are ways to do it, and I think you should be allowed to. It's not really an ethical dilemma since you own the product legally, you have paid for it. Why not be able to have the freedom and flexibility to take it from its native platform, the Switch, and put it on like the Steam Deck, or put it on your computer where you can enjoy it far more. And the games are far better there as well. Like, they just are. The Switch fucking sucks as a console. It's archaic. So while Nintendo is correct that there is a lot of piracy when it comes to this emulator sphere, it doesn't mean that it needs to be viewed as like this ultimate villain that needs to be defeated, because it offers a lot of good too. Because without emulators, there are so many games that would just be lost to time, especially from Sony, which is something Mudahar also points out. There are so many games that I have played that only exist through being able to be played on emulators that I can't get in an official capacity anymore. So if you're not selling the product anymore and there's no way to have access to it, what is the harm in playing it through an emulator? I don't